9. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wrapz. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wrapz to get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome live here on PT Race TV as we are now showcasing you today the Pit Stall Racing Series ARCA Series here at Phoenix Raceway here in Avondale, Arizona. Time to get down to business and see what the drivers have in store. Hi, everyone. I am the Crusader, Chris Try, joining you guys here today here as we're getting ready for the field to bring out the power and bring out the speed here. We are currently under our practice session at the moment here, getting drivers squared up and ready to go for the race at hand. Some still trying to get it figured out more than others, shall we say. I would say probably more than anything else, probably time to start talking with some of these guys too about that. So let's take a listen now here. One of our drivers here, the Michael Pratt, the number 3, joining us here. And Pratt, man, right now currently standing in the 8th spot here in practice under qualifying. Definitely be a bit of a risky spot, but I mean, how are you feeling so far into this race today?
I feel like there's a lot of risk into this one. It's
So with the way that things are going to be playing out for you and the team here, I mean, I know there's a lot of tough drivers here to try to match up, but what kind of will be the end goal for this 3 camp today?
just make it out on lead lap and hopefully make up some spots. Plan on starting from the back. That's what I always do, and just see where I end up being. But hopefully make every lap and be hopefully in the top 10.
For sure there. Thank you, Pratt. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Pratt there on the line here. We're now listening to the Hammering man himself, Hunter Hammering Hansen, here as he joins us here in the 113 camp. Hansen, got your workout for you today, sir. Obviously, I know you're still working with some new pieces of equipment and new tech, but Avondale definitely going to be really putting that and your car to its limits today.
Yeah, this is Phoenix super hard track. It's really hard for me to get a grasp on it, and as you can see, we're struggling right now. We're going to try to go into qualifying, set a good lap, and ride and stay out of trouble.
Ride, stay out of trouble. Now, I got to ask you, too. I mean, I know there's a lot of different ways and angles to try and take these cars, but with this ARCA car handles, I mean, how is it kind of fair and deal with when it comes to trying to figure out that dog leg down there in the corner one?
I mean, honestly, I mean, you can hold it wide open, go all the way to the bottom, and it saves you a bunch of time. it's good. The real problem are the long turns. This car likes to step out. It's real loose. So that's what we're battling right now, trying to get dialed in.
For sure there. All right, well, Hans, we do appreciate your time down there, sir. On our Hammer and Hans, ladies and gentlemen, on the line there. We'll now listen up to another driver that's been here before. He knows a thing or two about being in the speeds of the town. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 94, Troy Radford, joins us back here today. Troy, great to see you back here after quite a time here off the radar, sir. How's it good to feel to be back on the show?
Good. It feels pretty good. How are you guys doing out there tonight?
We're doing pretty good on our end here. Just kind of watching over the high heats and high suns and seeing how bad that tire wear is going to handle for you guys today in this track.
Honestly, I haven't got enough laps in yet today to really know. I just kind of hopped in here the last second. Thursday nights are really tough for me, so I'm glad to get in every once in a while, but I usually don't get off work till 8 o'clock. Fortunately, I was off today, so that kind of helps out a little bit. And then my children are being a blessing, and allowing children and wife are being a blessing and are cool with me racing tonight. So,
well, you got to believe with the family watching, it's got to give you a little more confidence to try to do good today, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Yeah.
well, you go ahead if you got more.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, track definitely feels a little slick out there. Try to get a pretty good idea as to whether, how, I know tire wear is always a thing here at Phoenix, but just how much you can push it, where you can push it, and, really trying to not kill that right front.
For sure there. Well, Troy, we do appreciate your time here on the track today, bud. Best of luck out there.
Thank you.
Troy Radford, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to get settled down, trying to get himself squared up onto the track here. Time to listen to a madman in himself, the professor, back on with us here, the number 24, Tim Lee. And Tim, yes, obviously it's more of a divisive track for some drivers and more of an exploited track for others, but for you, where do you kind of lie on this track?
Well, I have a love-hate relationship with track. I actually love the track because it just brings out so many different style of driving. You have to use your brake, the wheel, the pedal, all that stuff. It's a little slick tonight. So, I don't know. I'm just going to try to stick to my cards here and do what I usually do and try to have a good strategy. Some of these guys are really fast. I mean, they're 4/10 of a second faster than me. So tonight is going to be about saving tires, staying out of the trouble, and, making good pit stops.
Well, the way the track starts to cool down after a little bit of time put onto the weather here, and the weather's starting to cool down a bit too in the rest of the day, more into the night, how is that going to fare for you to kind of keep this thing online?
Well, I think it's going to warm up because this is a morning race. I think the start time was like 8:30 in the morning. So as we get closer, to that 2x probably of noon or so, it'll probably get a little bit warmer, but air temp's only 65 and partly cloudy. So hopefully we'll have a winter Phoenix sun.
All right, well, Tim, we'll see how it goes down there for you and the team. Best of luck down there.
Everybody, thank you.
Tim Lee, ladies and gentlemen, on the line there as he gets ready for his showcase today here. Time to listen into some Butterfinger driving here as the number 78, Dean Viney, now joins us back here on the call here. And Dean, bringing the old Butterfinger back down on the track here and got yourself into a bit of a buttery situation. The car definitely wants to try to get a little bit loose, get a little hard off the gas here. How are you feeling about that today? I'm getting word from the producers. Looks like he is not even in our chat here, so we'll go ahead and just leave him be. I guess we'll see if we can try to bring Len McNeese in here real quick. Len, you got a copy down there?
I got you.
Well, we got Len here on the call here, ladies and gentlemen. Here, good to hear see from you, Len. How are you doing today here on Avondale?
Oh, doing pretty good. How about you this evening?
Yeah, doing pretty good too. Kind of looking like you guys got a lot of warmer weather than I'm usually in my studio. So, but the way this track kind of plays out, though, I mean, I know that's got to be kind of a bit of a phase off for you today too, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure about this track. I've never really been too good with the new Phoenix. I like the old Phoenix a lot better.
You and me both on that one, but that's a different story.
Yeah, amen.
So with the old Phoenix, obviously, though, we know how it has a lot of tighter corners and a little bit more open areas to kind of work with. This one being a lot more widened out and more set up. I mean, how does that kind of fare for you to kind of try to take down or try to handle in this case?
I'm throwing a coin in the air right now. I really don't know. You got any good advice?
Very sure there. All right, well, Len, we at least do appreciate you coming on board here today. Best of luck as you get ready to race it out.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hopefully we can figure out something between now and the end.
We'll see you, man. Good luck out there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, McNeese, ladies and gentlemen. Well, there's only really a few drivers left I have yet to talk to, so last one I can bring you on today, ladies and gentlemen, will be the rattlesnake, Robert Kahn. And Surprise, surprise, fastest qualifier here today, Con. I mean, right now, with only 2 minutes left on the clock. I know you got a lot of qualifying runs set to go here, but how is the 88 handling so far on that long run?
It's doing good. It's pretty loose at the beginning, and then it goes through a phase of about 10 laps where it's really snug and feels good, and then it goes back to being pretty loose. So, just like with these races they've been all year, it's going to be about saving tire and taking care of your equipment.
Taking care of your equipment, indeed. Now, obviously, we know there's a lot that goes in terms of the pressure and the feeling that these cars can bring to the table here, but for you, where do you kind of lay on that? And coming off of a couple weeks ago, how are you going to be able to kind of recover from that and really try to show these boys up one more time?
You know what? Just everyone's really good here, so it's hard to get a good advantage. I've been fast in practice and qualifying all year this year, but in the race, I just haven't had that been able to close. So, just really coming out just to get a decent finish tonight. I'm not looking to win or I've won to, don't get me wrong, but just a solid finish to build some momentum. That's not been there this year.
Sure there, Con. Thanks so much for your time down there.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate you.
You can still hear in his voice, though. The Rattlesnake's still thinking very much about last week and what happened there. Just a very unfortunate circumstance and a very tough deal for him and his team. So we'll have to see how he handles and how he fares today. This is going to be a long, drawn-out fight today, to say the least. Take a look at our track tech talk before we get into it, presented by the Fort Worth Screen Printing. Weather, as Tim Lee said, the weather's keeping up a little cooler air here, but temperatures will rise up as it goes along. So we're still in the morning temps, but that will definitely change as it goes around. And then also be sure to catch out for the wind, the way the clouds are kind of rolling out as well. This will definitely force some drivers to really have to look at taking more lines than others. I'd say probably more than anything, though, you'll see tighter is faster in this race. Well, ladies and gentlemen, time has just about ramped its way up, and it is almost showtime here on PTM Racing TV. Let's see what we got in store, what we bring to the table here, as we are going to get our drivers now onto the track here. Qualifying has begun. Our first driver is going to come out here. Whoever pops up on my end first will be the one we show first, and waiting for that call here. So it looks like some drivers entering off pit road. Looks like Corey Coe will be the first to enter the track. Let's give us a good look here, just kind of the size and the shape and scope of this track here. Of course, we know how the dog was a mile long in length, but the dog leg, really with that opened up area, really can just make things so much more difficult and a little bit more crazy around the runs here. I think honestly, with that being opened as much as it is, really will test a lot of drivers' patience and skill in terms of controlling the dilemmas and controlling the speeds here. But more than anything, too, I think really what we're going to have to watch out for is when and where is the right time to strike, and when and where will be the right time to perform in these occasions, in these situations. Of course, that finish line literally just kind of right on where the new front stretch is, but that back stretch actually was where the old front stretch used to be, and this used to be the back stretch right here. That is old Phoenix Raceway, and that's track that me and Len McNeese were talking about just a second ago. Personally, my personal favorite track to run on. I've never been a big fan of this new one, but it is still very racing. I do not mind that part. I just do not like the overall encompassing area, the encompassing turns sometimes it takes with it. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. And speaking my thoughts on this, second place right now for Corey Coe. Solid time for him. Daniel Holloway, the Candyman, trying to get a good time in, but his second lap not going to be so good after that little tail whip there. Coming down through corner number 4. Trying to get a good run there off front from turn 2's mistake there to corner 4. He'll try to set a time, but not going to get anything better than what he already said. 27.31 is his fastest, and it'll get knocked down by Todd Boson in the 31. It's going to get knocked down by quite a few drivers, so I think we'll go ahead and listen in with him real quick about that one. Daniel, you got the copy down there, sir?
Oh, hello.
Hello, indeed, here, sir. Well, you certainly set a bit of a time there, my friend, but unfortunately, it got kind of knocked down on that second lap. What happened there coming off that final corner?
I just got a little loose coming out there. I felt the car, and so I had to get off the gas just a smidge and lost the momentum. So, but just got to keep this car clean tonight. So, long race, 120 laps. It's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Ready to finish indeed, but again, really having to start in a bit of a top 5, maybe in the 8th spot or 7th spot, depending on how many other drivers decide to come out here and try to put a full time up. Does that kind of make it a little bit more difficult to make the moves to get to the front?
If we have some long green flags, it's just all about saving those tires. So I'll get myself worked up there. So it just takes time. Got a long race tonight, so maybe this Reese's Cookies car be in the podium tonight.
All right, Daniel, thank you for your time down there.
Thank you, thank you.
Daniel Holloway, ladies and gentlemen. So I kind of lied. We actually could have talked to him there, and we managed to get him in. I said he could be moved down to 7th or 8th here. That still could very well be the case. And Con running it right off turn 4. Good save, but that what he wanted to do. That's not going to get you a time there, my friend. His last lap was a 27.89, although that lap will not count. So his fastest was a 27.05. Troy Radford clipping him by 26.99. Very, very interesting time there, to say the least. Here's the throttle. Chantal Pottle, her final time put up, and it's going to be a 27.30 for her time. She's going to get 6th on her marker, so that will knock down Daniel Holloway yet again, another spot. So, yeah, he will get put right where it's 7th, which was about the 7th or 8th area. So, very, very interesting calls here and maneuvers made by the drivers as the rest of the field right now prepares to get back at it and prepares to get ready for this one. I think, honestly, too, this one is going to really kind of set the driver versus the competitor in themselves. So, I don't know. It could be very, very difficult here to keep control of these cars, but I think that's what's going to make this race so good here. So, right now, the field currently waiting and preparing to get at it here. So 4 minutes left on the clock here, ladies and gentlemen. The field preparing themselves, going through drivers meeting and drivers code here again. So that'll give us just a second here to kind of get ourselves situated on the time zone here and everything else. Thank you all those that have tuned in right now with us here on the show. Nathaniel joining us in here. Great to hear from you there, sir. Very excited to see kind of what comes down to the track here, what comes down off the turns here. Again, this is a 120 lap race, so expect a lot of drivers really to be trying to save their tires out of the gate, and I think some of them trying to look at the overall run as the crucial primary to this kind of event, this kind of status. I think that's kind of the biggest deal they're really going to face too, is they just got to keep a controlled state. They got to keep themselves under control with themselves mentally and physically, and really you just watch every turn, you watch every corner, man. It's extremely easy to just get really loose or just completely lose out on the time here. And in turn, I think it really kind of hurts them more than anything here. So about 2 minutes, 50 seconds left on the clock here. Waiting around for our starting grid here. Of course, we are looking at our top 10 so far here. Tim Lee, your 10th seed. Frank Hughes, 9th seed. Corey Coe in the 8th seed. 7th seed going to be Daniel Holloway as of right now anyway. Chantel the Throttle Pottle, your 6th seed. Todd Poston going to be your 5th seed, Blake Trewick, currently the 4th seed, Derek Paulson, the 3rd seed, the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn, the 2nd seed, and then Troy Radford, currently the number 1 seed here in your top spot here. So don't worry, folks. We got about 1 minute and 30 seconds left, and then we will be getting finished up and ready to reel them out to the track today, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody currently preparing up. The drivers being getting handled out on the track here. We'll get these cars, get these drivers set up here. Don't worry, I know there seems like there's no noise in the background, but do not worry. That's just because that's iRacing being as quiet as possible. They have some sounds and stuff, of course, added in from the crowd, but crowd doesn't really have much to talk about. There's no cars on the track now, don't they? So, but nevertheless, race fans, just about ready to roll out the Pit Stall Racing Series intro and then settle ourselves down onto the track today. Good crowd on hand here, about 40,000 in attendance here, ready to watch these drivers have at it and go at it here, one-on-one in this epic fight and conclusive race here. There's only so many races left in this season here. There is no give and no ground to be lost out here. You got to make your moves and take your time just right and go for what you can. Certainly takes a lot of work and a lot of time to master and hone it down here, and certainly a lot more than anything to keep things figured out. So we'll see how that fares as we're approaching our final seconds here of qualifying. Drivers meeting is now setting the drivers to their cars, so it's time we get ourselves situated out here on the track, ladies and gentlemen. Let's head it down to your intro. Time for the Pit Stall Racing Series. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The time has come. Here is your gridding order for tonight's action here at Avondale. On the pole in the 94 will be Troy Radford for the outside, and the 88 will be Robert Kahn. Row number 2 is Derek Paulson, 06 the outside. In the big 5-6, it will be Blake Trewick. Row number 3 is going to be the 31 Todd Post on the outside, and the 5 the throttle Chantel Bottle. Row number 4 is Daniel Holloway, and the 21 the outside, and the number 9 will be Corey Coe. Row 5 is Frank Hughes, the 61 the outside, and the 24 the Professor Tim Lee. Row number 6 is the 93 of Jason Wall on the outside, and number 6 Eric Blount. Row number 7 that will be piloted down by the 84 Len McMeese the outside, and the number 3 is Michael Pratt. Row number 8 is going to be the 13 Douglas R. Johnson with the outside, and the 92 Michael E. Campbell. Row number 9 is the 47 Ray Radford for the outside, and the 78 will be Dean Viney. And finally, in the final starter today, the 113 is Hunter Hammer and Hansen. The engines are roared, the drivers are ready, and the fans are ready to get this one going. Race fans, the time has come. Let's send them on their way. This race, of course, presented in part by our friends at Fort Worth Screen Printing. When you guys need custom t-shirts done your way, your style, be sure to visit them up at fortworthscreenprinting.com for more information to get your designs on some hot, cool t-shirts today. Also, be sure to visit up John T. Garrett Twitch channel and show him some love as he continues his ARCA Series career. And by Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made your leisure. Lightning Wrapz looking to bring you the best designs in your library. And with that said, now race fans, time has come and the action is about to commence. Georgia 94, Troy Radford gonna lead him down. The old rattlesnake Robert Kahn gonna look to seize his day and his moment with the green lights flicker on the cactus. The lights are on and we're racing into Avondale. Mark Arthur asking if we're not live on YouTube. No, we can't get a double stream on this stuff, so we only do our Facebook end. Daniel Holloway, a little problem, same corner, same issue they suffered in turn number 2 in his qualifying run. And he had a little bit of a problem trying to get it squared up there as they lose a little bit of ground in the field, trying to maneuver through. Pottle immediately jumping high and then swinging it down low right at Treywick. Oh, it looked like a bit of a slingshot maneuver there, coming down through that turn, but that will certainly wear the tires out a lot more than I think she really is anticipating. She's got to be careful about that. Progression of each corner, each turn, certainly making a very big deal and a very tough little ride here for these drivers to kind of have to master and to nullify. But that seems to be what they like, and that seems to be what they're going for and aiming for. Ty Marasco says, watching from the sidelines tonight. Ty, thank you so much for tuning on in here. Feeling them right down off the corners here. Blake Treywick here going to go right behind the throttle. Chantel Pottle here as the move, number 56, trying to get some moving done on the track here if he can. Kondo sticking to his line down there at the bottom, while Radford, Paulson and them staying towards the dog leg outside corner of the turn. Very interesting strategy here. Again, you can tighten the corner up here on the dog end and try to get a good run off on the field, but I think the biggest thing we're going to see as a lot of drivers getting tighter as it goes around this ARCA car development. Now again, this is a Gen 4 Cup car as well, but it is still under the ARCA Series motor, so that is what is kind of setting these drivers in a little bit of a harder kind of racing mentality here. Watch the tire wear, watch these drivers get a little bit further into this kind of racing deal and try to push their limits lower as high as they go. Speaking of pushing some limits here as well, reminder as well that the Pitstall Monday Night Series that took over the Pushing Limits Racing League banner and name will be actually back online here Tuesday night, as we will see in the afternoon section the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway being put up for those late model drivers. So a lot of these names you see here, you'll be seeing a few of them too over on that Tuesday night action, so be sure to see that showcase when the time comes. And also, if you haven't already, maybe tune in and try to check it out if you want. Well, there's one good thing for Paulson here, is at least he got the right design on that car today. Last week, as you can probably tell from the pictures, didn't quite have the right scheme put on the right car. So he ended up having something which I'm going to call kind of a Frankenstein look to it. Like it was just kind of put together and then called it a day. Thankfully, though, he kind of learned his lesson. Oh! Speaking of not learning some lessons down there, coming off turn number 2, Eric Blount just completely dashed in there. Got loose, then got clipped by one of the drivers coming off turn number 2. He managed to keep the car rolling, but the 6 Viagra machine not off to a good start here. Looks like he got right in there with the number 92 there. He did. That was Michael E. Campbell. Campbell actually was one that got loose. Came down on him and slapped him right on the side. Both sides of the car absolutely beaten and battered there. But Black going to keep the car out on the track here. The front of the nose certainly is badly damaged, but he doesn't seem to mind it too much. More of anything, I think he's just going to kind of try to race around with it and just hope for the best. All on him and all on him to figure out what he'll bring to the table here, as right now we are currently on board with Derek Paulson, the number 6, 06 to be exact. He said he put a little 0 just in a hidden sight where I couldn't see it, so he makes it a 06, I guess is what he said. I mean, he can say it all he wants, unless that thing's blacked out, I can't see it for nothing. Troy Radford there still hanging on here, driving a little bit of a pinked up scheme there in the Georgia car. I think the way he told me as well, he decided just to kind of make it for his loved ones and his family and kind of stuck to it. A lot of news coming from the iRacing world as well here. A new update coming down in June that we are now almost seemingly for sure going to be receiving. I'll talk more about it later on from the news release and the press release that we have been given by iRacing.com themselves. But so far anyway, you really only feed the phase kind of the dirt and not so much the asphalt, but there is a little bit of asphalt talk I'll talk about a little bit for that too. I'm very excited to kind of bring more of a kind of my thoughts and ideals on it too here in a little while. But right now, currently, looks like Jason Wall, who was actually driving the 92 there, was the one that got into the 6th there of Eric Blount. So I got to give Michael Lee Campbell an apology there. It's hard to tell sometimes with these drivers like which car they're driving, because again, sometimes they'll drive the number that's the same as someone else's. Everybody maneuvering their way through right now. Treyway getting back ahead of the 5, and right now Treyway trying to get up there to Paulson and Kahn, as well as Bradford taking the race lead away from Kahn. Surprising, honestly, because Kahn usually is pretty good about trying to save his tires and keep himself well in the front here for a while on the time here. To me, more than anything, it looks like braking and controlling the lines are going to be more and more difficult as you go further into this race. I think that's what Bradford's kind of hoping on. Paulson right now got 2 wins in a row. He's looking for 3 as well today, but that 3rd one, I would say, probably to be the luckiest win he's ever had on a show. And this was coming from a driver for a while that had not gotten a single win in on any tracks for that matter on PTM TV. And yet here he is, been able to figure out finally how to get at least 1 good win, and then got really lucky on a 2nd one, almost like the Racing Lords blessed him with that. But he has since said that he does not want to try to win that way. That's not the way he likes to race, and he's hoping that he can finally kind of put something together for the next go-arounds and the next kind of situations here. But so far, anyway, it's been all about timing and tempo here in the early going. Daniel Holloway, the Reese's Cookies, number 21, trying so desperately right now to see if he can put something on the Gulf Oil number 9 of Corey Coe. Corey, another driver, has not been to victory lane yet at all these seasons we've seen him on the show. Daniel, the complete opposite though. He's a guy that's been victory lane numerous times and put a lot of drivers to shame in so many regards. He knows how to race it with the best of them. He loves trying to fight it out with some of these guys more than anything. Curious to see how that handles for him and how he deals with everything there. Todd Boston, number 31 right now, having a little go at the 5. A little swing and a miss there for turn number 2. No go there. Looking to try to swing if he can bring it to the bottom off 3 and 4. Passing opportunity is going to be extremely difficult here too, guys. I mean, we're going to talk about this all day, but there's not a lot of areas to pass on, and there's not a lot of openings to get off of. More than anything, you're really just kind of hoping and praying to get a little bit of a runoff here on the field and just get a little bit more grip and speed to hit up from the other edge of the sectors. But at the end of the day, you're still doing one thing. You're trying to chase the corner, and you're still trying to chase the other driver from getting that corner quicker than you. And it's easier said than done to make it work until those tires start to wear in thin and start to wear out just a bit here. As the battle goes down here side by side, the 5 and the 31 having at it a little bit. Chantal Powell trying to give herself a little bit more leeway. She's had a couple of opportunities to get the victory lane throughout this year, but only, I think, coming away with like 1 win so far this entire year. Last night, it looked like she was got something figured out there at Talladega, using the rattlesnake as a bit of her a little pusher in her mover, and then setting them up for that final lap as usual. But unfortunately, the final lap would come down to Jeff Oakes and I believe it was Donahue that managed to get up ahead of all of them. A little contact there from Austin Louder from Kahn there, and ended up costing both drivers any chance to win it and changing the pace of that race. And as I think we put in the description for the race picture, was it's Talladega, which it is. It's basically Talladega in a nutshell for you. But it was an awesome race nevertheless, so be sure to check it out on our YouTube channel here, PT Racing TV. Also, while you're at, subscribe down there and get more action here on the track. A lot of great coverage there that last night here. A lot of great, awesome moments to be had. These drivers, I think, will remember for quite some time, as always. Of course, the Pit Stop Racing Series had their share of memorable moments here. From driving the Truck Series to driving super late models on giant tracks, including this one. And then, of course, also bringing these ARCA Series cars back to the track and back to the series. Kind of crazy, too, because we really haven't seen these ARCA cars in quite some time in a long format. Yeah, we've had one-offs with them, but we haven't really seen like a long running season with them, and you can just see they are a handful as much as they are fun to figure out, but it really does test each driver to their limit, drives them to their core, and I think honestly that's what makes them so good, is it really brings out the best in themselves and really the best all around what you can get out of a driver. Take a look at our lap time here. The gain of ground here indicates for the green, the orange represents the give back there that the other has lost. And Radford, oh, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Trouble there for Radford. Look like he was trying to go to pit road. He missed his pit stop completely. Robert Kahn beat him in there. And Derek Paulson gonna take advantage. Go to the race lead. Whoa. Holy smokes. A mistake there by Radford. Not something you usually see from him. I don't know if he's running out of fuel or what's going on, but that was a mistake in itself. I think he's going to try to get to pit road now. He does. Paulson going to beat him in there, trying to break quick. All drivers trying to break quick as they enter in now. It looks like the whole field going in. Kahn going in earlier than every one of them. I'm not sure if that's his strategy or what's his playing at here. Oh, and Hansen into the wall off turn number 2. And that right front destroyed completely. Looks like he's going to have problems. Oh, he's got big problems. He's got a major problem here. He can't get the car to turn. He's trying to get out of there before that he gets a caution now. He's going to crash on the front stretch here. He's getting out of there quickly. They will stay green. Eric Blount going to hustle his way out of here. Hansen is in pit road. So Blount late into the track and late back into pit road. Blake Trawick, the first one out of the bunch, surprisingly. His pits time there was only about 7 seconds, so that tells me he didn't even take tires. A lot of drivers looked like they just took fuel, so a very, very interesting situation here. Kind of interesting to know kind of what they're thinking and what they're kind of planning out there. Kahn right now falling back behind Paulson, and even though he went in a lap earlier, he is not able to get out of there quickly enough. Although, looking at the overall picture too, he could be kind of laying low at the moment, trying to kind of straddle the car around as much as he can, trying to hope for a bit of the brakes here. Uh-oh, caution out though, that's not going to happen today here. Jason Wall, the 92, having problems there on turn number 2, and that will call caution. Time to take a look at your Pizza Race TV. It's a replay presented in part by our friends at Fort Worth Screen Printing and Lightning Wrapz. See what happened to the 92 here. Looks like he may have got a little bit, yep, lost it in the turn there. You can see Corey Coe just good right in front of him. Credit where credit's due though. Coe at least was able to avoid any drivers and not cause a real stir up, but still not exactly what you want to do there in terms of that kind of control and that kind of speed. Yeah, right there. As soon as you went below the yellow line, that car was gone. That was done for. At this point now, you're just hoping and praying. Don't slap that wall. Don't get hit by another car. Good? Okay. Looks good. Feels good. Price back off throttle a little bit. Square it back up. There we go. We're good to go, guys. Just a surreal and a little scary situation there, but he was able to stay out of it and at least keep the car online. That will help him out tremendously here. Robert Van Ness says, go Snake in the chat. Robert, thanks so much for tuning in. Some love down there towards the rattlesnake. And Jason Wall right now going to set himself back a little bit. Dean Viney also going to get himself into trouble. Douglas R. Johnson, Hunter Hansen are out of competition. Hansen's calling it a day. Wrecked the car completely out of turn number 2 and then decided to finish it in 3, turning to 4. Very interested now to see where we can really kind of hinder and hold these guys down a few pegs and a few notches. A lot of individuals making great work and great use of the equipment and hitting their marks and hitting their turns just right. But it seems as though timing has been the kill blow, or kind of the deficit for some of these drivers. Very interesting to see and very cool to believe what they can kind of lay down on the track, what they kind of bring down on the terms of speed here. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is, and you know what's coming up next here. Field double filed in, double sided, and you know they are ready to rip it right on around. Looking for the corner and looking for the turn here, off of turn number 3 to 4. Let's tally them up and let's send them back their way. Buckle down, boys. It's green flag racing in Avondale. Strapped in, seatbelts tightened up a bit. And now shifting to the gears and off they go. Rounding back off of turn number 2. And that pedal is straight down in the middle for the 94 Trey Radford, as he is right now looking to throw the hook shot at the 9 of Corey Coe. Down on the end of the turns here. Every driver right now trying to hang in it. Hanging left, hanging right. Some getting a little bit hanged down more than the other and hanging them dry while they're at it. Wide salute there, looks like coming on 3 and 4 there. Looks like Chantel Powell trying to get around the number 24 Tim Lee as they start to maneuver their way past the dog leg. It looks like the dog leg turn actually getting the old 5 a little bit loose, and that really got her a little crept up there. Neither it is while trying to get a speed back underneath him. Len McNeese now trying to jump up ahead in the fight as well. Treywick, despite having the race lead there for a minute or two, ends up now having to unfortunately suffer the consequences from that little pit stop and suffering through the rest of the race. But it could be backing off a little early here, just kind of save some equipment, save some fuel. Derek Paulson leading this thing into the ground as Corey Coe defends off the old proverbial rattlesnake Robert Kahn. Hard to believe too. I gave Kahn that nickname literally so long ago in NASCAR Heat 4 when I was calling his races and just kind of talking about the times that I would kind of mess with him and he'd mess with me. But then, like, some of the drivers, I would remember, would get him so mad, like, no one would ever know about it except for me and a few others. And I would just say, like, at some point, like, whenever you make him legit mad, you light a fire underneath him, and he almost is just like an absolute snake. He'll just strike so quick with such ferocity. And then I think I kind of just thought back to what the Texas Rattlesnake was, his old Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was just a stone cold tough driver, so I called him the old Rattlesnake here. And that's what I kind of nicknamed him and stuck with it for so long. Hard to believe after this many years later, the nickname has stayed and there's still fans that are rooting him on as the old snake. But I mean what I mean, folks. I mean, you make him mad, or you, at life, you even so get him worked up. It's literally like ticking off a rattlesnake. He'll shake, he'll rattle, he'll make you think about it, but he will strike when the time comes right. And there's trouble down there on turn number 3 and 4. Len McNeese, he's got a right front destroyed on that car there. He's in the way of traffic here. McNeese, you gotta get out of there, sir. He's trying to refire. Yeah, it's too late. The caution's out. He's gonna get this one wrapped out. Gets the car squared back up on the track here, but unfortunately that is not going to sit well on a lot of drivers. I guarantee a lot of them just thinking, wait a minute, what's going on? Like, shouldn't we have been pretty much good to go there? But same can't be said for the old 84. We'll take a look at the replay here and see what exactly caused this situation to pop up. Dean Vining. Oh! Dean Vining. Whoa. Absolutely crazy there. Oh! McNeese there. He's got drilled, then he got tapped, and then he got slammed. Everything was looking okay here, and then he came off the corner. And then I don't know what happened there, but that did not look good at all, and I'm not totally sure what exactly caused that. We'll go one more time on his instant replay here. Yeah, the rear end caved in the back there. Then there's that hit. I don't really remember seeing him get a tap there in the back. We'll take one more look at it, though. I didn't think Dean Vining was anywhere near him to get that hit. See right there. Oh! Oh! Well, that might be the reason why he got a little bit hit there. Well. Well, I mean, I will say this. I will say Chantel probably didn't know where that nose was at, but I mean, that's still technically a hit as a hit, so that kind of knocking the old 84 back down a few pegs, so that was definitely on her. But I will say this, that McNeese had plenty of time to get that car situated and figure it out, so I'm going to put a bit of blame on him, too, for that one. You guys be the judge of that, but, I mean, my biggest issue was probably the fact that he kind of stopped right on that area where he could have kind of refire it. So we'll see what the drivers and the officials say on that one. But in my opinion, that was not a clever move, if I ever say so. There's just one thing you don't do is stop in front of leaders like that or try to cause a caution to come out. Well, nevertheless, past my little rant here, we're going to get them ready fired, set back up, squared up, and set onto the race here. Field going to square themselves up. 1/3 of the way done with this race here. Paulson, Radford, Kahn, Hughes, Holloway, and Poston, your top 3 rows. From corner A to corner B, green flag is out. Lights are on the cactus. Let's send it back down. Field working their way right off of the sectors here. Radford, Kahn, Daniel, Holloway, and Hughes all having a tussle. This is giving Paulson, though, everything he wants, which is the race lead. Paulson has not been to victory lane for so long, and all of a sudden now it's like he can't get out of it. If the way this is going for him. But he needs it too, though. I mean, you think back to the points lost. His execution is being kind of out of control, and now trying to finally get himself a very golden opportunity here. This would certainly mean a lot to him, and he would certainly appreciate every bit of it. I think he's just kind of hoping and praying right now he just get a little further into this race here. So I did say earlier on that iRacing blessed us with another update via their notes and their descriptions as well from our end here, as well as the entire iRacing community. So little cliff notes here is that in June, of course, we talked about it before, but there is a big update coming to the dirt scene in the background. What we do know now is there's a new damage model as well for the late models here, as well as a kind of a track changer, if you will. The grooves are going to be starting to build up. They're going to start working at actually getting smooth surface like we run now on those straights, and then they're going to be rigid and bumpy surfaces, which I kind of like the idea of that as well, because that really will force a lot of drivers to get used to that kind of style and that kind of racing. But what also it'll do is that they're going to differentiate versus a dry and a slick to actually a actual slick and a dry, have a way to drive through the slick and actually through the dry as well. So that will end up forcing drivers to get a lot more control and a lot better at running where they want to, where they need to, without having to slide around and slip around through everything. So I'm very interested to see how that will go when all is said and done. But again, well, their biggest goal is like they said, is they want to get multi-groove racing back in, and they're looking to try to get a more designed up kind of style for what dirt should represent in the sim world versus what it is right now. So very excited for that. And again, for those that know me, I'm a dirt driver far into it, so I am more than excited for this. I am ready to get back to my roots and back to my style of racing. I love asphalt racing, but man, there's one thing I will never go back. I will never be able to lose and leave out away from. It's dirt racing. So I'm extremely excited. Can't wait to see what happens. Thank you, iRacing, again for the update on that. Also, was told and was alerted that we do have also the asphalt side following right after that. So as soon as dirt gets there, the asphalt ovals are going to get kind of the road course treatment as well. And the tire model, yes, these car tire models are going to get a major update, and they're going to get a lot more designed up to be more of a positioned end of the car, as well as the way the wear and tear is, and then how they react on the track and the surfaces. So very, very excited to see what that comes down to and what we'll be able to get out of that. And really just also the biggest thing too is just like dirt, they're going to look at trying to get tracks to work better with multi-groove racing, multi-groove tracks. So instead of only having so much room like right now, it'll be more like they can run a lot more areas, a little bit more open spots, especially on the short track ends. Like big one would be like Hickory Corner Speedway. On that track, it's only like, I don't know, a one-lane track, but really there is a two-lane sector, and same could be said for Martinsville. It's a two-lane track, but really one groove for sure, but it can be a two-groove track if you get it figured out just right when you're going head-to-head against somebody. So I'm very, very excited to see how that fares and how that shares there as well. So this little update from the iRacing end today that we received. A lot of big news and stuff coming. Nothing really on the broadcast end. We're pretty much keeping up with our position here. Wednesday nights will be coming to an end, though, for their season coming up next Wednesday, so be sure to tune that in as well. We will be off tomorrow night, but Saturday night we'll be back with GOAT Racing League and their Next Gen Cup Series. They'll be back out on the show. And then, of course, we'll be back on Sunday night with the Petaluma Racing League Season 10 second race of the season. And we'll just kind of keep you guys updated from there. So, we appreciate you all tuning in for these shows and these watching us actions on the track here. If you do like what you see and like what you hear and also want to hear more news and updates, be sure to catch us here on Facebook and like and follow us up. Head over to our YouTube, subscribe there so you guys never miss any of our calls or broadcasts. Every show is delivered or put on PTM Racing TV for the broadcast channel. So do not fear, you will always have your racing coverage and live racing coverage too. Do not forget about those. They are all on the channel and they will not be going away anytime soon. So thank you all so much for watching us. Speaking of watching some stuff right now, the UPS number 88 of Robert Kahn still having a little fun taking the MF Racing Design number 06 or the 6 of Derek Paulson to the limit here. Troy Radford managing to get around both of them as Paulson may have got a little too aggressive early on, allowing Radford to kind of sneak his way in there and kind of take a little bit of a charge on there. Daniel Holloway, Todd Poston, and Blake Treywick, some of the heavy hitters kind of laying off for a little while. Guys like Frank Hughes and the Hughes Garage, number 61, currently right on the cusp of making some good moves and some good races here. Again, hanging in that top 5. That's a big deal for him right now because he hasn't been in that top 5 picture for quite some time. So, seems to me like he runs on these short tracks and these big tracks quite well for what it's worth. And I think that really kind of sets him and tones him up a bit from the other pack drivers in their field. Their way right into the gaps and into the positions here. Still anybody's guess here who will be able to take control further along. Corey Cove actually having a little fight out here and having a little showcase of their own end here too. Field still just trying to hold on down the line, trying to hang in there as much as possible. I'm kind of curious to see how long, how far, and how quick these guys can hang in there before the equipment just starts to tear and fade away too much. It seems like the longer we go, the more it kind of becomes a tougher deal and a dilemma to have to face up against. Eric Cloud earlier on having a little bit of a slap dash in the wall. Did get the insert repair put up on his equipment, and that seems to help him out a little bit. Troy Radford currently dealing with Dean Viney. And the old Butterfingers number 78, he had a little wild ride before Len McGreed had gotten the old caution flag to pop out. But, on the right side, at least right now, it seems like he is keeping himself a little bit out of that troublesome slate here, as Corey Coe now going head-to-head here towards the rattlesnake Rubber Con. And Coe, again, not been to victory lane yet, still desperately wants to not only figure it out, but he is looking to try and finally dig in deep and dive well and get himself a very good opportunity and chance of becoming such a important figure in racetrack surface here. And it looks like he's going to get it done here. Coe getting himself right around Con. This is looking pretty strong from the number 9 camp. I'm very surprised here. So Coe right now currently trying to hunt down old Radford. Let's take a look at the time zone here. Look at this. This is pretty impressive here from Coe. I know, again, he's currently right now burning tires up. I can say that much. But, I mean, at the same time, I'm thoroughly impressed by how much power and run he was able to get. Just to even make the corners and make the passes again. Because considering how tough it is just to get around guys like Robert Kahn and others, it's not an easy task. It's actually a very increasingly difficult task when you start to think about stuff. So just a near notion, the near momentum he's able to kick up. Starting to show itself, but you can see also he's starting to fade a little bit off time, and now not so much anymore. It gets it around Radford and gets it around Kahn. So now he will take the race lead away from everybody. Derek Paulson, Eric Waddle, Chantel Pottle, Len McNeese trying to stay out a little later here. McNeese and Pottle gonna go head to head here. McNeese gonna go to the inside. Looks like Pottle is gonna give him some room here. And Pottle, oh, almost dipping back down on the 84. Probably looking for a corner pass there, but we'll back off and try to settle it for pit road. We'll see if McNeese goes in. Yeah, he certainly will. He's gonna try to race it in there. Oh, and whoa, wait a minute. And again, the throttle hits McNeese coming off turn number 2. And that's the second time McNeese got a little tag there from the old throttle. Not completely sure what the heck happened there, but that was not a good spot there for either driver. No caution out. McNeese just gonna stay in the pit road, but I don't know what on earth happened here. I'm not sure if McNeese like came down a little bit or Powell just went right into him there, but I mean, at the end of the day, I know these two have done themselves in a few times, but this could get a little nasty here. I'm not too sure. We'll take one more look at it. Again, no caution, obviously. They were in pit road, so they let him race it out, but I don't know. I think that might have been, that looked like an issue on Pottle's end there. It looked like she just drove right in him. So, well, the officials will certainly have something to look at here. Corey Coe remaining on out in your race lead. He's got a 4-second lead over the number 94, Troy Radford. He went in a lap later. And he did not take tires, ladies and gentlemen. So everyone else took tires. I don't know how to feel about that one. I mean, at the same, on one hand, I do agree that he's going to try to last this thing out as long as he can, but I don't know necessarily those tires can hold up any more than he's trying to hope for them to. Radford is coming for him. He's looking to make some moves here. Coe probably so desperately trying to win this one out, though, and trying to stabilize everything down as much as he can. Just makes it that much harder to kind of deal with. And caution is out on the track here. There is some smoke down there, and it looks like Tim Lee may be the recipient of that. And no, it's not a vape smoke that somebody was going from the grandstands. This actually was a situation here. Massive damage on the side, right side of that front nose of the throttle, Chantel Pottle. And oh, there you go, yep. Oh, both drivers actually spinning it there. Pottle saved hers. Tim, not so much. Almost like a pirouette there off that corner. Another look at it. Yeah, you can see she gets a little, yeah, got right on the apron there. Once she went in the apron, then Tim was trying to avoid her. Chantel was able to save it. Tim had to back completely out of it. Trying not to get into that mess there, but unfortunately it did not quite work out in her favor there. Yeah, as soon as you go underneath that apron there, you're pretty much hitting ice at that point. That car weight offset and the feeling just completely throws you for a loop. And boy, howdy does it do you in for quite a time here. So the field right now currently trying to figure out what their next plan is and what their next objective will be here. But the field currently probably just trying to figure out what the heck on earth is going on out there with this track and this race. But in total too, it's been a pretty good race, all things considered. Just a few minor hiccups and skirmishes in between, in my opinion. But other than that, I really don't see too many issues of really what's going on or really what's happened in this one. So I think the toughest part right now is just drivers having to kind of accept that things have been a lot harder to master and a lot harder to figure out. And that's definitely pushed a lot of guys and gals into a very inconcisive circumstance here. So now the driver's currently getting ready to build up their cars again. Lights are off on the cactus down there, the old cactus tree. Well, in drag racing, you have the Christmas tree. Well, guess what? Here in Arizona, you have the cactus tree. Well, all right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we're going to send them back down off the turn, set from back of the corners here. Off through corner number 3 and down set for turn number 4. This time on by Blake Schrawick. This time will be your race leader to engage the field off. Here we go off corner 4. And to the Fort Worth screen printing restart zone. Green flag, back on out. Oh no, that's trouble, and that's over around. Well, Jason Wall today has not been able to catch a break, and now he really is not going to catch a break. And this, I really am not hoping, is not what we're going to be leading into the rest of the race. Nasty, nasty little clip up there, unfortunately, coming through that turn. And just nothing you can do about it here. Wall slid up, then came down, and then looked like Corey Coe just came right up at him there. There's really not a lot of areas to get out of that mess either. There's only one way up, and there's only one way down. Coe looked to me like he was trying to keep away from McNeese, and instead he just kind of overdrove it, trying to get back up. Yeah, you can see right there, it backed off, and then that's when Wall came down, and both drivers taking for a bit of a little lick there in between there. So unfortunately, a very tough break there. Yeah, see, as soon as he got tapped, he literally sent that wheel straight right. bad predicament there, and unfortunately the motor all but gone here. Again, you only get 1 inch to repair out there, and I'm pretty sure he just used that up. So a very, very tough ordeal there, to say the least. Nearly 2/3 of the way done with this race, and drivers now in desperation mode at this point. They're trying to save tires, they're trying to save fuel, trying to save equipment. And at this point, I think they're really just kind of hoping for any kind of luck or any kind of control here. So now, everybody gonna have to figure the best time and the best opportunity here to make amends with themselves and make amends with their control. Double filed up again, ladies and gentlemen. Treywick, Hughes, Blount, Paulson, Radford, and Co. are gonna be the front 3 rows. 3/3. We have 2/3 of it done so far. Yeah, leading back down, ladies and gentlemen, here. We are going to lead this field off and see what happens from here. Can we get ourselves a few laps in before the caution and bruise again? That will be their goal and their end game move here to the restart zone. Treywick letting us set the field, gets it back underway. Big run coming down through turn number 1 and 2. Every driver for themselves here, and I'm not going to say what's going on behind there, but just keep your eye out on that one. That could be some talking to here in a minute. Coming down through number 4 here, and looks like a little trouble for one of our drivers here. I think that might have been Corey Coe that was blinking a little bit. Yep, there he is. He's back now. A little Butchcraft for Gremlin on the attack there. The field staying stable, though. Working their way on around. Every driver right now just trying to hold on and trying to hope for the best. Paulson trying to get some run back underneath him. Looking to get up there to Hughes and get up to Treywick. The field in a very tight march and a very tight end ordeal. Well, Eric Blount earlier on got himself kind of whacked in from just unfortunate forces there, but now seemingly kind of caught a huge break here and now has a little less trouble to worry about, but he still has some damage up on that car, 4 wide from the corner. They clear the gap, major gap consideration, and a lot of maneuvering there for the 5 throttle Chantal Bottle. She jumped way ahead of those drivers. Got around Coe and Blount for trouble there. As now Holloway tries to hold back down across the line. Gaston and Twain side by side racing in there as well. Coe trying to hold the throttle down, but she makes her move. Daniel Holloway, Todd Boson, you're getting a good look at the long, long run they were trying to build up now to, and now seemingly kind of getting back into it. Blake Traywick, the 0.56, or the 56, I should say. Looking smooth, looking clear. But now I'm going to say this too. Being smooth, looking clear does not mean you win the race out. What wins you the race out is making sure you last out the longest of anybody. And I think Frank Hughes right now is looking to try to get that done here. He's got to be desperately thinking and hungry for that win. Thinking of all the other times he lost it outright. Looks like he's just keeping it nice and smooth, staying very, very focused on his run and on his pacing. And that's what you have to do here. You just can't let small distractions, small blimps get in your way. The rattlesnake rubber con here looking toward the inside a little bit. Radford going to holster the momentum back up. Paulson behind. They're all hounding the gas pedal and hitting up that loud pedal. Trying to see what they could do here, what they could get to the table. And these bankings too at Phoenix Raceway, man, the track is just completely shredded, tires up. It shedded some fuel and mileage off these drivers mentally, but I think physically the biggest downside is they are feeling every bit of this race. The heat in Phoenix is not like the heat you would feel in, say, like the Midwest or down up the east side. This is like literally feeling that Florida heat. It is so hot, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, that even that dry weather, it really just kind of takes its toll on you. I think that's kind of what these drivers are feeling right now. That's what's kind of doing to them as well. Well, Treyway gave up a little bit of time there to Frank Hughes, but unfortunately I don't think that necessarily translated towards lap position. 30 laps remain next time on by. Treyway looking good. But Hughes and Radford are looking just as good. And look at Hughes, actually. He's blocking Radford a little bit. He's trying to keep him on his line, trying to keep him in his playing field and his field of vision. This is exactly what Radford does not want to have happen here, is have to try to race out like that. But you can see the equipment is taking quite a bit of a turn there into the turns and the corners. Fighting as hard as he is right down there. I think he's just bouncing around down there, but it's working. The Georgia native raking it right into the turn, and the 94 finally getting a run on Hughes. But Hughes, oh boy, he put one up on him there. He did not let off that corner. And the more they battle, the more Treyway just gets all the time he needs to breathe here. You know, there's two ways to go about it when you see someone battling like that. You either A, you start driving quicker and you get away from them faster, or B, you actually slow down a little bit, let them fight it out so you can save your tire more. And then when they try to get back up to you, just hammer the gas pedal down and force them to drive even harder to catch you. So it seems weird, but really if you think about it, they're driving hard just trying to make passes on each other. So they're literally using up more equipment and more run, whereas not so much on your end. So that's where that last one that I said can really come into play and really make a difference here. And the field right now gapped down and pushed back a little bit here. Of course, Lynn McNeese here with major damage there. He suffered throughout this race. Getting at least part of it cleaned up from that little hiccup in pit road. With 26 laps to go, though, I don't think him or any of those drivers back there are going to have much of a chance here. And speaking of having much of a chance there, Treyway looks like he didn't have much of a chance once the tires started to fade out. Radford is just an absolute animal in these kind of races, these kind of momentum-based positions. And he knows the thing about long-term game and long-term loss. He's been a master at it. Because we watched him win plenty of times here at Phoenix. Radford trying to get it dialed in with this ARCA car today. The rattlesnake Robert Kahn right now looking to try to gap up, trying to stabilize it down. As the young lion and dare tries to deal with the pressure from a snake, the rattlesnake just making good use of it. Strikes hard, strikes quick. The fierce nature of the 88 UPS machine getting his run out. Now Radford going into pit road. Treywick will join him. Pit stop's now going to be a very centered off point. Derek Paulson trying to hang in there as Dean Vine gets some of the wall protection down on the back straightaway. And Kahn and Paulson now to pit road. Kahn trying to break in perfectly here. Paulson much the same. Daniel Holloway will remain out on the track here. And now pit stops here for Holloway, Paulson, and Poston as well. So Treywick looking to try to gap or back up his speed, gather up his momentum. Corey Coe and Chantel Bottle, different pit strategies there. 77 and lap 72. Coe, though, going to go into pit road now. Pottle will certainly have to be joining in there eventually here, but I think her strategy is going to be to try to last out as long as she can here. Frank Hughes making his way through the pack here, trying to get back on the lead lap. And he will be successful. Coming off turn number 4, he got a good drive off on the 5. And Pottle now trying to stay in it. Well, you can just see the wear and tear these tires are on right now. You can just see how tough they are getting to be. Notice how much more braking they're using and how much more less speed they're getting off the corners. This is what wear and tear does to your tires, guys. This is when we talk about you don't have any grip or any groove. So now it all kind of caves in and kind of encompasses its tough nature and ferocity. It forces you into some very tough ordeals here. And it looks like Hughes and Holloway right now looking to try and set up this one here. Hughes has got the race lead. Daniel Holloway, though, going to get passed up with Radford coming screaming back in here. The motor screams and the power screams back to life, taking control where it needs to most. Layering down around the track here. Radford, you know, at this point he's just trying to hold on, but he's not going to be able to. Hughes going to get him right ahead. And excuse me, Hughes, I meant, was trying to hold on there. Radford just making good use of it. Treywick, his pit stop definitely setting a bar and setting a time gap zone for Boston to have to work around here. runs here now, becoming a very crucial factor here with only 14 laps to go. Trawick looking on, keeping a close eye on the final bit and the big runs left on the clock here. And I tell you what, if I'm any of these guys right now, all I am thinking is watch the corner, watch the turn, hit your marks, hit your openings here, and hope for the breaks you need. And I think he's really kind of figured that out here. I really do think he's got it all dialed up. Firing him back up a little bit, McNeese and Michael E. Campbell. Trying to hope for a bit of a run here, hope for a bit of a drive there late into this run, but at this point these two both have kind of found themselves on the receiving end of trouble, more so McNeese. But at the same time, McNeese kind of threw himself in trouble too. Radford right now about 3.5 seconds back. He managed to get his way around Paulson, but I mean at this point the time has already ran out. He's going to need Trawick to burn a lot of tire up if he wants to catch him here. It's not impossible to think, it's not crazy to believe, but it still is a dilemma. And they are very, very well aware of that. Trawick tries to give him a little bit of ground. Lost about 3/10 of a second there. But again, with 9 laps to go, I think a little bit of that was also just due to lap traffic. Radford, though, he's hunting, though. He is trying. The Georgia 94 just doesn't want to give out just yet. But remember, even he said he didn't come in here knowing how the wear and tear of the tires was going to be. So he was kind of hoping for a bit of a break or a bit of an opportunity here in lap traffic, throwing that dirty air in front of you, too. That certainly does not help the matters any more than that. Dean Viney getting in the way a little bit. Slowing down the old Radford camp a little bit there for just a second. Trawick probably not too mad about that. Probably more excited than anything. Probably happy knowing that happened to him. But you can just see too, the lap traffic is so spread out, so far in between. It's really now boiling down to just make your moves at the right time, get your run at the right opening, and just hope you don't find yourself in a very dilapidated situation. Well, 6 laps left here in the field. Knowing where they're at, knowing what's going on. There's a lot on the line here, and there's a lot of time left, but not a whole lot of run to give. 5 laps now on the marker. Trawick hoping to keep his speed up, trying to keep his power on bay, but at this point I might have overcompensated on Radford here. I may have underestimated him a little bit. He is getting closer to the 2-second marker. He might have a chance, but he needs to get closer to him. And he is wheeling it too. I think Trawick may be feeling that pressure a bit. If you feel that pressure, you're going to start to feel a little bit of that grind, that little spot there. I think that really makes it a lot worse for wear and a lot tougher to deal with. Green laps merely set on the bar here in the 56 here. Going to try to reel his way down on the round. Radford's got it down to a 2nd and 8/10 here. This is looking good. This is not looking good for Trawick with only 3 laps left. He's hoping for a break here. Radford, he's looking to catch him. I thought honestly he may have been too far behind, but looks like Trawick was indeed burning that tire up a little too much here. There you see the pink car, and there that's what's behind him. He's currently trying to catch him. He's running out of time, though. He's going to get one more good lap. He needs to get every bit of it. Trawick, oh, he's slowing down a lot. What remember what happened last week? That could be the same dilemma we're running into here. Radford is slowing down a bit. He's losing time. Got about a 2nd and 3/10 to go, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes a white flag. This time on by, presented by Lightning Wrapz. Big dilemma for Trawick. Stay in the gas pedal and hope it sticks. Radford, he just needs to get anything to stick and all of it to run. 2 more corners to go. Trawick nails turn 2. Down the final leg. Radford, he's not going to have enough time this time. For corner number 3 to turn number 4. One more lap was all he needed, but it's not to be. Blake Trawick going to win it here in Phoenix. Nice performance by both drivers. Each driver giving it their heart and their soul to try to see what they can bring to the table. But Trawick managing to keep the power up and keep the momentum at bay. And Radford was not able to catch him in time. And the heart of a driver showing its way on around this time by. There's the celebration. Trawick hasn't been here in a while. I think he's going to be doing this for a minute. It has been a time since old Trawick got this one into victory lane, but it will no longer be of a thing of the past. Here is your race results. Presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing here. The final results popped on your screen here, and Trawick finishing this one in a heated display of raw performance and raw power, taking down Radford. Third going to the round snake, Robert Kahn. Derek Paulson going to go 4th. Todd Post in our top 5 for him there. Frank Hughes 6th. Michael Pratt 7th. Daniel Holloway 8th. Chantal Paulo 9th, Len McNeese 10th, rounding out your top 10 in this one. A lot of storylines going on the track here. Some better than others. But nevertheless, your final results are in, and now it's time to talk with the top 3 that managed to get to this point. Robert Kahn going to be home your 3rd place today. Kahn, yet again, another wild day of racing, my friend. And this time around, at least, it ended up being a little cleaner than the way it happened last time for you.
Oh God, yeah. I had about a 3rd place car tonight, so that's where I finished at. But can't be mad at that. It's just gonna build some consistency here. That's something I've been struggling with lately.
Yeah, definitely was a little bit of a struggle to stay consistent. Is there anything really just continues to kind of keep that going, or is it just kind of lack of confidence, or what's going to happen down there for you?
No, it's nothing like that. I'm making during the race making small mistakes. Tonight was a really clean race by me, but just got to clean up a couple of mistakes I make during the race and just be more or less slow down. Try to just focus on the little things first. So, other than that, happy with it tonight.
Happy with it tonight indeed. Well, nevertheless, you're going to take this one home for 3rd. Who do you want to thank her for this one?
Pitstone, man, they put a hell of a race on every week. I really enjoy running with them, everything that Tim does and everybody. But and then appreciate PTM Racing and PTM TV.
For sure there. Robert Kahn going to take it on for third. Congratulations here, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
So the Rattlesnake, ladies and gentlemen, taking home a third place finish there. We'll now listen into old Troy Radford here as he brings himself into a second place spot today. So a little silver medal there for you there, Troy. And for a guy that honestly had not even figured out how to run this track in on a long run, well, you sure figured things out pretty quickly there, my friend.
Yeah, it was a good race. You know, this has always been a good track for me, so I've always got pretty good ideas to what to do. But you know, don't run this car a whole lot, so I really wasn't entirely sure. You know, but yeah, it was a good one. Cannot complain. Congrats to Blake. Heck of a strategy. Just played out perfectly.
Yeah, I kind of got you there a little bit late into the run there, but early on you had a pretty good little idea of how to kind of take this and kind of rail this one in. But with the way the corners were starting to phase and the way the track was starting to give out, I mean, how were you even able to somehow, some way take control of this car and manage to hang on for as long as you did?
You know, it's just all saving tires, and you know the couple of the guys were really good out there. Like Blake looked really good. Robert looked awesome. You know, it was just all about saving those tires, and you know, I had a pretty good idea. Had it gone green, had a pretty good idea what I wanted to do. I think there was going to be a race-winning strategy, but you know, when it came down to that one, kind of like what I told Blake is, I just felt like it was a flip of a coin, whether you take tires or not take tires, because I kind of looking at the times, and I kind of thought I was going to catch them quicker. However, you know, I really just debated, but I'd always rather charge late on fresh tires rather than try to hold on. So, you know, if I get that opportunity and it's kind of that flip of the coin, I'm definitely going to go that way.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, taking it home second place today. Troy, what do you want to think for that one, sir?
Of course, big shout out to Evidence-Based Mommy, Lucky Finn Project, National Kidney Foundation, you know, all the guys who make all this stuff happen. And you know, thank you guys for doing what you're doing. You know, really, him and the whole admin crew with the pit stall, they do an awesome job. And I wish that I could run more with these guys, but with my work schedule, it's just tough to get here for qualifying time. So, you know, I hate I don't get to run more with these guys because it's a great crew, great group of people. I love running with them, but, you know, enjoy when I do.
We sure love seeing you around when you can get by here, Troy. Thanks so much for your time. Congratulations on getting the second place today, buddy.
Thank you.
Troy Radford, ladies and gentlemen, going to take it on home for second. But the man that's going to go top honors today, ladies and gentlemen, Blake Trawick, gets it figured out here, and he takes this one on home here. And my friend, you had pretty much kind of got a bit of a break there from lap traffic to overdriving the heck out of this thing ahead of Radford, and now bringing it on home to victory lane. How's it feel, bud?
It feels pretty good after not being able to finish last week. But I have to hand it Troy. That was Troy's race. He had the speed the whole time. We just threw a Hail Mary at it with two tires at the end there and just squeaked by.
Managed to squeak by, managed to catch a break here. You say you threw the Hail Mary. I mean, that in of itself, I mean, how precious important was that even just to figure out there?
Once I pitted the halfway on the tires and I saw the left sides weren't as bad as the right sides, I figured maybe that could be the play, but I just didn't have the pace to run up front like with the leaders. I could just kind of sniff the dirty air there. So I figured, you know, I mean, you won't know until you try it. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? I finish where I was, or we get a better finish out of it. So it worked out.
It worked out, and it brings you to victory lane today, Trawick. It's been a while since we've seen you here. What do you got for us today?
Rookie esports with the team, you know, giving me a shot to run on the team, splash and go for the paint schemes, and you always got to do a shout out in the broadcast here for you guys doing a heck of a job. Same thing for the pit stall, putting on these races.
For sure there. All right, well, Trawick, man, nevertheless, bringing it on home in victory lane. Congratulations on this one, sir.
Thank you.
Blake Trawick, ladies and gentlemen, winning this one out here. What a performance by all today. 19 coming and 19 falling, but one stands above all else. Nevertheless, thank you so much to everyone at Fort Worth Screen Printing and Lightning House for your support. To all the fans at home for tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to catch up more action here. We'll see you back Saturday night live on PTM Racing TV.